Hey everybody, welcome back. So now that phase 2 landscaping is all done, we've been visiting garden centers over the past couple of days, and we bought some things. So let me show you what I've got. All right, so this is the first batch of things that are going to go in these beds here. So what I'm thinking is we're going to get a Japanese maple. It's probably going to be here. And then these two little golden globe cedars, these little chartreuse colored ones, are going to go probably in a diagonal over here. I'm going to place everything and move things around in a second, but just to give you an idea. And then this dwarf, I've been on the hunt for this dwarf Hinoki cypress for I don't know how long. Finally found one this morning. I'm super excited about that. Look at it. It looks like velvet. I love it. Anyway, that is probably going to go on the corner here. And then my thought is to fill in some of the gaps with some kind of white perennial. I'm kind of leaning towards a white phlox because it's such a hardy plant and it does really well, and it blooms for quite a long time. So that's kind of where my mind is at right now. But we'll see. And then the other things that we got today, this is a burgundy barberry. Which one? I think it's the Concord. Is it the Concord? Yes, that's the Concord. And then the euonymus emerald and gold. I just love this plant. I find it just adds such a bright pop of color. Now those are going to go in this bed along with additional white perennials at some point. Once I find out once I find something that looks good. Now that's part 1. Part 2, we started accumulating. Let me just walk down here. Remember I talked about the south strip of pollinator plants? Look what I got. This is like the first batch of many. So I got 5 Nepeta, and this variety is, let me find one that's turned towards me. This one is the Junior Walker Catmint. It's a little bit more compact than some of the other varieties. Probably can't read that. So I got 5 of that. And then I got the April Night because I just love this dark purple salvia. It's going to be amazing. Now, the plan, there's going to be a batch of the salvia in this area. Same with the Nepeta. And then I'm repeating the same pattern basically twice along this path, along this flower bed. So the other ones are going to go somewhere around the 24, 5, 6 foot mark. So right now I'm going to just plant things, place them, and then plant everything in. And I'll show you everything once it's done. Look at that color. I love it. Right, I'll be back. Okay, so this took us much longer than I thought it was gonna take. So here's the plan. The Japanese maple is gonna go here. That's gonna be burgundy. Probably gonna get a blood good. So that's gonna go there. We have these 2 Golden Globe cedars that are gonna be exactly where they are. We're gonna pick up hold on, where's my finger? I'm gonna pick up a 3rd one, probably the green version, and put it here. And we're gonna, hold on, I'll keep talking about the stuff that's already there. Okay, so this is the burgundy barberry that we debated going back and forth, getting 1, getting 3. We're gonna leave it with 1. We're gonna go get another dwarf Hinoki cypress and put it here. We put the euonymus there because that's gonna be like 2.5 feet tall, 3.5 feet wide over time. And in the meantime, we're gonna pop in some annuals around just to fill things in. And I'm kind of leaning towards white, but I may change my mind once I go to the garden center and see what's there. I feel like white would be really good, but we'll see. So I'm going to plant these, and I'm probably going to go back to the garden center tomorrow and pick up the second Hinoki and the globe. Whoops, the globe cedar, and then we'll plant everything. We're probably going to pick up the Japanese maple on Tuesday. And the annuals as well. I can't plant the annuals yet because it's still too cold at night. But we'll select them and figure out what we're going to do there. All right, let's get planting. Okay, so I just finished planting these 5 little shrubs, and it's drizzling, which is actually quite nice on a day like today when we're doing work in the garden. Now I'm going to move on to the side, and we'll see how many of the Nepenthe salvia I can get planting today. And I'll show you once I get everything sorted out on the south side. Back in a bit. Okay, so we've just placed the salvia and the Nepenthe. So this is the full bed, just so you can see where I'm coming from. I'm going to be putting 5 of the salvia here. Now these aren't going to get very big. It's probably about a foot and a bit, both wide and tall. So I'm going to keep them kind of like if I'm standing flush to the house, kind of like on a slant, because I've got plans for other things there and along this side. This is the Nepenthe. It's the junior, what is it called? Junior Walker. And this gets it's 40 centimeters tall, so that's like just over a foot and a bit. 90 centimeters wide, it's about just under 3 feet. So that's going to fill in pretty nice, and we just make sure that it's not going to be coming over the path too much. So that's going to be 3 here, and then just to keep the pattern repeating, I've got 4 of the salvia here, just making sure that it's not too close to the intakes there. So we're going to put 4 there. We're going to avoid this whole area where the heat pump is, and I've got 2 more Nepenthe on this side. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14. I'm going to start planting. Wish me luck. I'll show you once everything is in. All right. So I'm going to show you how to plant one of these. If it's not something you're familiar with. So this is where I want to place it. I'm going to move the mulch aside because there's a good layer of mulch here until I see the soil. And that's really just to keep it neat. I'm going to take this out of its pot just because once I dig this out, I'm just going to put it in here, not to put it on the mulch and get things messy. If you have like a wheelbarrow or another container, you can totally do that too. But I'm using what I get. Come on. There we go. All right. Get this out of the way. I'm going to plop this here for now, and then I'm going to dig our hole, which this is a small pot, so I won't dig it too deep. Obviously, wear proper shoes when you're doing this. No flip-flops allowed. And then I just to keep it semi-clean. I mean, I know we're dealing with dirt and all, with soil, which is technically not a clean endeavor. So I just try to capture as much as I can. And then make sure I have enough room, grab my plant, kind of take a look at it to see what side is the best side, which I think is this side. If it's root bound, it is a little bit. So you could just, loosen the roots a little bit. So that's, I lost my view. Hold on. It's like this. All right. And typically, with most perennials, you would dig as deep as the root ball is, excluding the mulch. And then once you've got it the way that you want it, just make sure it's, upright, centered, whatnot, and then just fill in. I just reuse the soil that I put in. I don't add anything. Like I know some folks add fertilizer or whatnot. I don't bother. I'll fertilize afterwards once it's been in the ground for a while. And because I know this is fresh soil, they just finished our landscaping and they just filled it in with soil. So I know it's pretty good. And just make sure that you get all your soil around your root ball. And then just bring your mulch back in. that is it. That's it. So that's one. Many more to go. I'll loop back and I'll get everything else planted in, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. All right. It's all done. I don't even know how long all that planting took. An hour and a half maybe, just to get everything in, excluding the time to figure out like the measuring and where we want things and all of that. It already looks so much better. Long term, well, this is the first batch of plants that's going in. I'm expecting to be adding, there's going to be bee balm here. Let's go in here. Asters. This I'm going to leave blank, just because we don't want to plant anything in front of the heat pump. So we'll leave that empty. I'm going to be adding in, so you see where the Nepeta is there. I'm repeating the same pattern on this side. So in the middle here, I still need to find the echinacea, the white one. So the white swan echinacea. I want to add that in here for fall, so late summer, fall. We're going to add Caryopteris, which for those of you who know, the bees love it. And it's like one of the last things in the fall, like late September-ish. And the bees love it. Mind you, the bees will love all of this. It's primarily supposed to be like a pollinator garden. And just with all the cool colors, I find it soothing. It's really nice. They're my purples and blues and whites. That's all my favorite colors in the garden. But yeah, that was a good job done. I'm excited. We're going back to the garden center tomorrow to pick up that extra dwarf hinoki cypress. We're probably going to go on Tuesday. Maybe we'll look at the annuals at the same time to add in the front. I'm really leaning towards white, but we'll see. We'll see what they have. And then Tuesday we're going to go get our Japanese maple. But anyway, that's my husband watering the grass up there. Oh, but yeah, that's a good job done. To me, like, it already feels like an improvement. Like, it just looks so good. And the dream is starting to materialize. Don't mind the heat pump. Just focus on the flowers, people. Focus on the flowers. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh my God, I'm so excited. It was a good day. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'll probably have more as we start, filling in, planting more things. I'll keep providing tours. I'm due for a garden tour in the back. Everything is looking really good back there. I could spot them back there. The cabbage really took off. The bok choy looks really good. Everything's leafing out. The fruit trees. It's exciting. It's May. May is the gardener's best month of the year. It's exciting. Anyway, that's it for today. See you next time.